Hello, my viewer. Welcome again, and thank you for joining us again here. This is our platform, and that's why every minute we are saying, let us subscribe, let us share, so that we may reach out to many, so that we may be discussing issues that are concerning our own selves. Because there has been a discussion here whereby what is this that is required by the employers when they're employing someone? And that one becomes bigger when a question comes, how comes we have people in places of work with no certificates that are relevant to the place that is the work is being done in that place? And they seem to perform better than those who have trained, those who are certified in those areas. And at some point, that one has triggered this discussion because I think we'd rather put matters straight. We accept what is there, but not at least be comfortable in the status quo. Because we all need this. We need to fit in our places of work. We need to fit in the purpose of why we are wherever we are. We need to justify what it is that we are earning and our livelihood. And along all this discussion, no one should feel out of place just because of one thing or the other. If anything, no one should look at the other and they say, I am better than you. In my dictionary, I believe in teamwork. In my dictionary, I believe in self-efficacy. And again, in my dictionary, I believe in what it is that I should do. I do it in the right way. And that's why we read somewhere that whatever it is in your hands, do it with all diligence. For example, an employer would look at four things when they're employing you. And I want us to pick one of it and we see why. Our discussion should take a further uh, maybe stance than here. Because, number one, employer will always look at the technical skills that you're having. Number two, they're so much interested with the soft skills that you're having that I'm having. Number three, they're so much interested with the experience that is relevant to what you're doing. Number four, there are personality traits. Those four forms our discussion that may go for hours. We may not have that maybe ample time, but we must still keep that discussion aflame so that we may be able to face it. Number one, when it comes to the technical skills, do I have the relevant certificate that is needed? Well, that one is what is going to maintain me there formally or to give me an avenue. Let me just first talk of an avenue because maintenance is something very different. Maintenance will be very tricky, as we shall see. But on the technical skills, number one, the employer will look at the certification that you have. Number two, they'll look at the relevance of that certificate and the relevance with you particularly. And number three, the approach or the methods that you are using to satisfy your job description. Technical skills. So maybe this discussion may not end here, whereby is it the technical skills? Is it my certification or is it my relevance or is it my methods that would make maybe my counterpart who is not as trained as I am, in fact has no training at all, but they seem to be performing as I am? Well, that may take us to the second thing that the employers would look for. These are soft skills. But even as we discuss the soft skills, you will still realize we are still hanging somewhere on the technical skills because when you're talking of the soft skills, there are people you are calling street mats. The street smarts are people who know how to do it, and yet they may not be having any official training. What does that tell you? They can deliver, and the way they deliver, it is now what matters to whoever is in need. That is, you want something done, so whoever does it, now they happen to be having no certification at all, but they have done it the way you want it. Meaning, that methodology, where have they gotten it from? And that the method of this something, we said it is in the technical skills. That relevance, that's doing the right thing as it was needed. Where has it come from? Because we are saying now this person is so much in the soft skills. And that's why our discussion here is no one needs to justify themselves and to outdo the other one, that the employer is looking for the four. I repeat, the technical skills, the soft skills, the experience, and the personality traits. All these must mingle. They must make one thing. So whoever is having a lot of soft skills and they are thriving even without certification should not tell them that they don't need the technical skills. But as per now, let us agree, they are very relevant. They are the people that we need. So where does that one now take me as Mwalimu Kamau? It takes me to go out of my way, to step out of my comfort zone, to break out of my cocoon and know that there are other things that matter. And in this case, other things means there are other skills that I may have to learn from people, from situations, from circumstances, and I come out eclectically. That is, in a way that I may not have been trained formally in a classroom setting. We go ahead. You know, some people are watching me and they know what I mean. That I have visited some private schools. And in as much as we would like to say you should not train when you should not teach when you are not trained, well and good. I thank God because many of them have now trained. But one thing that we have to do, one bullet that we must bite, we have been having these people who may not have gone through formal training performing so marvelously than those who have the formal training. So until I wouldn't like us to justify that it is without training that you can still perform, and again, not that it's with the training that you must perform. No, you must roam in these four aspects that we are citing today. Because, for example, look at the experience. With the experience here, the employer is asking you of your achievements. These achievements may have earned you promotion or not. But if you look at the achievements, they are talking of your past, they are talking of your proficiency, they may be talking of your efficacy. Notwithstanding, that the situation here in this institution may be better than where you're coming from, or may not be as where you are coming from. So again, some things here may bring in some play of differences. And that's why I would still have a lot of confidence in this person who has experience. But with much more than that, the aspect of observing this person and seeing whether what I want is coming out further from such. We are addressing one another. We are addressing one another. We are addressing one another because that's why I'm asking, am I an asset to my place of work or am I a liability? Don't answer it according to how you have been described by people. Let people ever describe you, but let them never ever define you. And that's why we are here in this platform. We discuss while we are facing it that if I may be described this way here, on my own personal reflection, on my own soul searching, would I come up with some evaluation that would give me at least a clear roadmap of what I can change within me, and I make an impact on whatever I'm doing? And that is what is bringing us to aspect number 4, personality traits. There is nothing as important that I have seen in the places of work as your personality traits. This is where it matters your interrelationships with the people. This is where it matters your adaptability. This is where it matters your proactiveness. This is where it matters with your attitude, because your attitude will always give you some ability to come in culture alignment or adjustment. So many of them that I cannot explain one by one, but I would basically say this. According to research, the maintenance of your position at your work, the maintenance of the work that you're doing, somebody researched scientifically and came up with some statistics. And they said, your certification, be it certificate, be it diploma, be it bachelor's, be it master, be it PhD, accounts for only 7%. And I'm talking of maintenance, not really and a kind of a placement. No, I'm talking of when you are hired, when you just came into that job. Yes, you are qualified, and that's why your qualification gave you the go ahead and the entrance into that job placement. But I'm talking of maintenance. You have been in that place of work for 2 years now, for 10 years now, for that years now. On average, because I know there are some jobs where people would say they have not been written using the chalk, hawajaandikwa na chaki. Meaning they cannot just be sacked tomorrow, or it is not very easy to sack them. So when it comes to that, I'll not discuss that, but I'll discuss on average, because most of us, we are in corporates. And I would say, when it comes to personality traits, he said in his research, whereas your certification maintains you at 7% at your place of work, 75%, it is your social etiquette, it is your social dimension that maintains you in that place of work. 75%. So when somebody is asking, what do employers look at when they're employing someone? Well, somebody may be very well skilled technically. Number 2, they may be very well and well acquainted with the soft skills. Number 3, they may be so good and relevant in terms of the experience, but the personality traits will always come in to define and determine whether you can get along with the rest, whether you can collaborate with the rest. And by the end of the day, especially where etiquette matters, then that carries the whole of your impression. What does that tell you? When you are in that very job placement, your interrelationship will determine whether you are contributing to positive social environment at that place of work. And that will matter with whoever is around you to know whether they can maintain you or just release you. Not sacking you, really, releasing you. Look at the adaptability. When I'm coming to this very new job, when you're coming to that new job, you are getting into a totally new environment, geographically, socially, at times even spiritually. So many things matter. So how you adapt, how you take up to get along with the situation and the circumstances there will always matter. And at times, this is where resigning or release comes in, because when you just can't cope, then you'd rather shape out. Look at this. When we are looking at the proactiveness is also an aspect of your personality traits. When you see an issue that needs to be fixed somewhere, number one, how much are you ready to creatively fix that issue on time without much expectations? Expectations can be monetary, recognition, and such. And basically what we are saying here is, where your proactiveness is needed, it is a solution that is needed, and a solution that may not and must not be bureaucratical. It is upon you to look at it and say, here there is an issue I have to sort out. I'm not saying the administration should not know about that. No, you need to let them know. But so long as what you want to take as a step is an acceptable step, I don't think there's anybody who would have an issue with that at their right mind. And that's why you'd realize we have joined this very institution with you, and tomorrow you are a leader and I am not. Not that there is any certification that you brought that was maybe certificate in this, and there is a plus that is showing that you have some extra potential. No. Diploma or degree, and there's a plus somewhere showing that this one has an extra. This issue, this aspect of proactiveness is what is saying that if I kind of entrust you with this entity, there are some things that are going to be sorted out even before so much consultation is done, so much approval is sought for, and all that. And by the end of the day, a stitch in time comes saving nine. When I talk of eclecticism, I mentioned it somewhere. This is an administrative term. It's a term in administration whereby you are doing something, not necessarily because you are provided with such training. You look at something, you just face a situation, and you realize that it must be fixed. And the fixing you are going to do it so amicably, very freely, and in fact, very appropriately. What does that tell you? It may tell you of the intelligence of this person, and plus that intelligence, there is that aspect of critical and creative aspect of practice of this person. And this is all we need. This is all what employers are after. And because if all these things that we have mentioned are coupled with the right attitude, then attitude is everything. In fact, even where we want to talk about the cultural alignment and all that, because every place of work, just like every family, just like every church community, just like any religious community, just like any social organization, we deal with the cultures. That is, there is a way of behaving that we kind of adopt so that we may live amicably, we may live harmoniously. Attitude, by the way, I would rather stop it at this, because all what we have discussed can be brought into one basket called attitude. And everything, even as we are talking of the roaming of the four areas where the employee is after, this is the technical skills, the soft skills, the experience, the personality trait. They can all be consolidated into attitude. And you realize somebody whom you knew, how you knew them, with their levels of maybe incompetence and all that. Today, they are totally different new people. Tomorrow, they are totally different new people. You are even questioning how they got there. But attitude brought them into form, kind of prompted their interest, prompted their motivation, and they go to some focus, and today they are where you can see them. Meantime, thank you. Continue subscribing, continue sharing so that we may reach out to many, and that way we are going to be ourselves.